and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Stacey and I'm a mature student studying with the Open University towards my BA Honours in Childhood and Youth Studies. I currently study part-time and I'm in year 3 out of 6, so at the end of this module I will be halfway there. And yeah, let's get into the video. So in today's video I will be talking about the Goodnotes app and how I use it to study and in what ways, that kind of thing, because I've had a few questions about it and it's easier to put it all in a video. So to begin with, I do want to preface this by saying I am still very much a stationery girly. I am very much still a pen and paper kind of girl. I like to write things down in handwriting. I do type. I am a proficient typist. I don't mind typing, but when I'm taking notes and things like that, it just feels more natural to me to write it. So I'm sure for some of you who've actually been here a while, you'll know that I've mentioned this before, and I've mentioned that although I've tried to type up my notes before, it's never really worked out for me, so I went back to writing out manually, I guess, on pen and paper. But now I'm using my iPad and it's kind of a happy medium, so I'll talk about that now. So like I said, I didn't enjoy taking notes on my iPad before. It just didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like writing with pen and paper. It felt very unnatural. I don't even know how to explain it. It just didn't feel right. It was very slippy. I think I had to push quite hard with the pencil, or not hard enough. I'm not even sure what it was, but it just didn't feel right. And it definitely didn't have the same amount of grip that I was used to with pen and paper. So I found that very distracting, to be honest, when I was writing notes, and it just didn't work the way I wanted it to, and so I just went to pen and paper. But then I had heard about sort of the paper-like screen protectors, but I'd also heard that they wear the tips down really quickly and really easily. So I was umming and ahhing about that until one day I was actually doing some art on Procreate, just messing about on it, and I thought, oh, this would actually be a lot easier if I had the paper-like cover. I think maybe it's worth giving it a go just for that. So I purchased this one, which is actually, you get 2 in this. So it's this make your iPad feel like paper. I don't know, I'm guessing that's what it's called. Versum is the brand. Let me just see if I can, yeah. I'll link it in the I'll link everything in the description. But you get 2 in here, and it was a lot cheaper than some of the more like name brand ones, I guess. And yeah, it is very much like paper. I don't actually know, I can't remember how it comes. Well, you can't really see it in the pack, but I'll show you on my iPad. So yeah, you put it on like any other screen protector. Let's see. I will say, oh, it's filthy. I will say the one thing with this is I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It has the little thing here, so I don't know if that was an error on my part, because it doesn't have it on the where the camera is, which is here. So I'm not sure if that was an error on my part or if it's an error with the brand, but it fits and it works, and I don't really use that camera anyway, so for me it's not a big deal. It definitely feels much more like paper when you're writing, and it does stop glare quite a bit. See, that's my light that you could see, but it's nowhere near as bad as it would be with my old screen protector, like the tempered glass one. So I got that, and I also bought some, I don't know if you can even see that, there we go, Apple pencil tips, just in case, because I thought I'll just buy it and then I'll buy the tips and then I won't ever have to stress about it. I haven't even opened these yet. I'm still on, where did I just put that here? My Apple Pencil tip. This is my original one, and I don't know if anyone else can, but I can't see a difference in this tip. Maybe somebody else can. I'm sure I will eventually, but it's definitely not as quick as I was expecting it to be. I've done a lot of notes, writing, drawing, things like that on it, and nothing's happened. But I do have these just in case, so that will be the problem solved. And this is, hang on, this is the, just in case anyone wants to know, this is the Apple Pencil second generation one. So it's the magnetic one. Are they both magnetic? I'm not sure, but this one is magnetic to the, and charges via the iPad rather than plugging it in, because I did have that one last. So yeah, I used it for art really to start with, and then I got a flare up of fibromyalgia, and I was laying in bed and I had my iPad next to me, and I was in so much pain I couldn't get up and get my laptop, and I didn't want to call anybody to go and get it, so I just thought I'll just have a little go on, just see what I can do via my iPad. And I began to take notes in Goodnotes. I already had Goodnotes from years ago, and I began to take notes, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually like pen and paper. And yeah, just kind of went from there really. With this particular module that I'm studying, we have quite a lot of like research articles, newspaper articles, reports, things like that we need to download basically and read through and highlight and make notes. And previously I was printing out these reports that are like, some are like 50, 80 pages long. It was ridiculous, and it was such a waste of paper. And if I could, I would get away with just printing out, if it was just like, oh, just read the abstract or whatever, I would just print that out. But for the most part, we have to read the whole thing. So I started downloading them onto the Goodnotes app, and highlighting them and making notes on them from there. And again, that's perfect. That's great. It's environmentally friendly, it's convenient. It means that if I'm going on a long drive somewhere, or we've got a motorhome holiday coming up, and I'll be taking it with me so that I can study on the go, because it's got everything. Because my book, although I have the paper copy of the book, my book is I've also downloaded it onto, I think it's on Apple Books on there. So I've got everything I need, as long as I've got Wi-Fi or 4G, or probably 5G, 4G, whatever it is, my hotspot. I can study from wherever I am. So for me, I feel like that's perfect. It's got everything I need. I've got all of my notes. So if I'm looking back for a TMA, I've got all of my notes written down on my iPad. Okay, yep. So excuse the horrendous lighting. I am screen recording what I'm doing on here, so hopefully I'll be able to add that in so you can actually see things a bit better. But this is how it looks when you go into like the home page, if you like, of Goodnotes. So what I would do, if say I'm on week 15, I would start here, open a new, let me just show you that again. I will go into new, I'll go into notebook, and then you name the notebook. So in this instance, I would name it week, you can write this, but I just don't, week 15, okay? You can choose the cover. So you can choose from all these different like funky looking, let's see if I move, that would be a bit better, maybe. Yeah, you've got all these different like funky looking ones. Maybe I'll go for flowers today. You can also choose the different kinds of paper. So there's very many different choices. You've got writing paper, you've got like, these are what they call the essentials. So blank, dotted paper, squared, ruled narrow, ruled wide. You can also import some people sell them on Etsy and things like that. you've got all the different writing papers. They do like a Cornell one, they do 3-column, single column to-do list. There's loads of different choices. So I would suggest, if you do have Goodnotes, or you're planning on getting Goodnotes, I would say have a little look through. You can also change the colour of the paper as well. You can have it as white or black or yellow. I always go for yellow for some reason. I feel like it's a bit easier on the eyes for me. So I'm going to go for squared paper. I quite like that. So you've got your flowers, you've got your squared paper, and then you just push create, and then there you are. That's the front of your notebook, and you can just slide it across like that. So the way that you would do it is you would have your writing utensil, and then you would just say like hi, whatever. You would write your notes, and that's very simply how it works. You can do lots of things on this, so there are lots of options to add things like I don't know what they call these. I would call these stickers, but that's not what they call them. You can add pictures in, so if you've got a picture from somewhere, you can add that in, move it around, things like that. You can also you can lasso, use the lasso tool and lasso something and then move it somewhere else. You can lasso it from like a web page or whatever. There's lots of different tutorials and things like that on TikTok, on Instagram. So I would suggest, on YouTube as well, I would suggest having a look at those if that's what you're interested in. I am very much a just write my notes, and I use the highlighter tool, which if you hold it down it will make it a straight line as well, which is nice. You can change the size of it, you can change the colour. So yeah, very useful for lots of different things. So this would be the change in the size here. So yeah, lots of different ways you can use it. I definitely do not use this to its full potential, this app, certainly not for my note taking anyway, but that's just perfect for me, how I like to use it. Yeah, so apologies for the lighting again, but I just thought I would show you, like I said, how I import the reports, articles, research papers, that kind of thing. Usually, if I'm at home, which is usually the case, I'll be using my MacBook. So I will be using my MacBook for the online resources, and then I will use my iPad like this just to be taking notes. I just find that easier. So for this particular one, they're asking us to read a research paper. So what I would do is I would right click and open it in a new tab. So it's here. So there's the paper that they're asking us to read, or the article. So then I go up to, make sure you can see this, I go up to the downloads. I do not go to the downloads. I go to the share button and I go down to AirDrop. That brings up my iPad. So I send it to my iPad and it comes up and appears directly onto my iPad. I don't know how easy this would be on Android. I'm going to be honest, I don't use Android. So for me, this is just, I'm just showing you how I use it on Apple devices because that's what I have. So then I will go again to the, well, I don't even know what they call this, but this is what I call the share button. And then I scroll down and then it's opening Goodnotes. So then it asks, it talks about preparing a PDF version. So I say open, it'll take me to Goodnotes, and then I will always select import as a new document, import to documents. Takes a second and then it brings it up. Then you have it here. You can make sure I'm on the right thing, highlight certain pieces, you can write notes on here, You can circle things, you can put things in your notes, you can copy and paste, things like that. So I find that so much easier. And then when you come out, you've got it here. So you've got your week 15 notebook, and then you've got your document right next to it. And then I'm sure you can actually put it in folders and things like that. I don't bother. I haven't bothered doing that because I can find it quite easily. I don't keep an awful lot of things on here, other than like I'll do the same with my PDFs when I'm provided with the, not PDFs, the PowerPoints for my tutorials and things like that. So that's how I use it, and that's it. So like I said, I love how portable it is. I love that it feels, it's not exactly like paper, but it feels as close to it as I think we'll get for the foreseeable future. I love that I can just take this device with me, my phone, my keys, that's it. That's all I need. And then I just, maybe my wallet if I'm going somewhere that I need my wallet for, and I can study from youth groups, from long car rides, anything like that. So, you know, whilst it will never replace my love of real stationery, I am in my stationery era. I have piles and piles and piles of stationery everywhere, and that's not going anywhere. I do, for this very functional note-taking era of my life where I'm not interested at the moment in making my notes beautiful or creative. They're just very bland is probably the word for it. Very functional, very to the point. It doesn't have to be like that on the iPad, but for me it is. It's perfect for me right now doing it like this. So yeah, like I said, all links that I can find will be in the description below. And let me know if you have any questions or thoughts or opinions, whatever it is. And yeah, I'll see you again next week for another video. So when I can speak, I will see you again next week for another video. If anybody has any video suggestions, again, please pop them down in the comments below. And thank you all to everybody who attended my Study With Me live. I'll try again this Sunday. I'm going to try a different camera setup so it's not vertical, because that was really annoying. It was the only way I could do it on Sunday. But yeah, I'm going to mess about with some things, try out a webcam that we have, see if that works any better, and go from there. So I would love to see you all there if you can. I'll advertise when I'm doing it on my Instagram page. I will also try, I don't use the community tabs, but I'll try and use that to let you know a bit more about what's going on. And yeah, I'll see you again next week. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye.